Greetings, everybody. Peace and blessings, and good evening. And thank you for tuning in to my Aisha Speaks Jade podcast. I like to talk about, or let me just first introduce myself. If you never heard me before and this is your first time, I am Aisha, also affectionately known as Jade. That is my nickname. And again, I like to welcome you to my Aisha Speaks Jade podcast platform. I am doing a makeup live audio for Saturday. I was going to say November. Of course not. Makeup live audio for Saturday, December the 8th, 2018. And this topic that I would like to speak about is how to book last minute business trips like a pro. And I'm sure a lot of us has had those experiences before, business trips, or, just doing things last minute, even if you're taking a personal, and you're trying to figure things out and get yourself a flight and things like that. But this is specifically on, again, how to book last minute business trips like a pro. So we're going to use these tips for finding a flight in the nick of time. So business travel can be stressful enough, but learning that you must travel at the last minute and or during high traffic season, like the holidays, can be more than overwhelming. Many times, the window of opportunity for a business deal is closing, leaving no choice but to make a trip. So I'm sure plenty of you have had to take a number of last minute trips globally that were necessary to close a deal, along with the stresses like jet lag and time management that come with business travel. I'm sure that you have found that the hardest part is finding a flight deal that isn't going to cost a small fortune. So, knowing firsthand that last minute trips are sometimes a must, here are 4 of some really good tips for finding flight deals in the nick of time. So, tip number 1. Do your research. The first thing to do after learning you need to book a last minute flight is research your options. You might start your search with your desired airline in mind. Perhaps you are part of a loyalty program that you can take advantage of. However, it's certainly not the only place to consider. Look at sites that specialize in helping you find cheap tickets and compare them. So, Hipmonk and Google Flights are good places to begin. After looking at a few sites, you should see what the average price is going to be and how low deals get. If you have time, sign up for price change alerts. Tip number 2, be wary of outrageous deals. Again, be cautious of outrageous deals. If something looks too good to be true, it probably is. So for instance, if you've found a flight that only costs $300 on one site and all other sites are showing $650, there may be restrictions or hidden fees that aren't clear. So before you buy any ticket, make sure to read the fine print and see what hidden fees you'll have to pay. So if you have ever had that experience on when a flight is being advertised so cheaply, it's usually because you're only seeing the price for a one-way flight. Sometimes after clicking through, you'll find that the fare didn't include taxes, baggage fees, and other service charges. Again, read carefully to know exactly what you're getting. Tip number 3, fly budget carriers. While this certainly isn't everyone's preference, If you can't find a deal that fits your financial needs and schedule, consider flying with a budget carrier. Budget carriers are known for having many hidden fees. That doesn't mean you should avoid them entirely. To get the most out of a last-minute deal with them, you have to know what you need and what things you can pass up. So let's say an airline charges you for overhead bin access, for choosing a seat, and for food and beverage services. If you can fit your luggage under the seat in front of you, bring snacks, and don't mind what seat you get, those are 3 things you don't have to pay the extra fees for. And I'm sure a lot of you might be able to relate to this. So if you can, definitely share your experience in my comment box below, as well as any tips or suggestions that you guys have. I encourage you again to share that in my comment box below. Tip number 4, be flexible. If you're really out to find a good last minute deal, then you must be flexible with your travels. When researching prices, look at deals for airports near you and your destination. You can possibly save hundreds of dollars if you take a flight at an airport that is further out from the city. Besides airports, keep an open mind for what date and time you'll be flying. So if you found that certain days of the week have cheaper options, depending on the city and flight time, for instance, if you ever notice flights on Sundays and Mondays tend to see more traffic from business travelers, which sometimes shows higher pricing. So here's a bonus tip. Use your miles. If you have a rewards credit card, you can use the bonus points or miles you've earned to help pay for your flight. Alternatively, you can use the best credit cards for international flights to upgrade your experience as much as possible. So if anything, take advantage of the lounges and amenities that your card grants you access to, so you won't be completely wiped out by the time you arrive at your destination. Looking for deals can be fun, but it's definitely can be very tedious and frustrating at times, or a few times. If you think you found a reasonable deal, take it. Or save yourself the trouble and consider using a travel agent. While you may be required to make a few sacrifices in order to get to your destination, once your trip is booked and planned, you can focus the business that's bringing you there in the first place. So I hope that you enjoyed that. Again, it was all about being flexible, using your miles, fly budget carriers, be wary or cautious of outrageous deals, and most importantly, do your research. Don't always go with just the first one. Do your research. So I hope that these tips that I spoke on or that was suggested was of good content or use to you guys. As always, it's always insightful and helpful for me too. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you in advance for listening to the replay, which will be available shortly. I'd like to invite you to my social media platforms, which of course you can find me on Facebook, where we're at right now, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and I do have a YouTube channel. And you can find me under Aisha Speaks Jade for all of my platforms. Again, that is Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and I have a YouTube channel which you can subscribe to by hitting the thumbnail and also hitting the notification bell for updates. As I always say, take care of the crown of your head, which is the top of your head to the soles of your feet. Make sure that you use your self-care toolbox each and every day, from the smallest task to the largest. Make sure that you respect, love, and like yourself starting internally. Create your happiness and also create your greatness. Follow your passions, dreams, and goals. And always remember every day to be appreciative, blessed, humbled, grateful, and thankful. With that being said, namaste and ashe. Be good to yourself, and I'll catch you next time.